It's time. It is time to brew your best beer.
The 2020 Sjporr Challenge Gold sponsors Bouncer. A special thanks to double gold sponsor Bouncer, keeping the dregs out with an inline filter for homebrewers, keeping you homebrewers organized on a brew day with Boil Bro, and keeping beer fun with the Growler Bro mini beer flavor infusers. BrewTubers, online brewers club, forums, recipes, articles, new updates, brewing tools, and more. Yakima Valley Hops, fresh from the source to your kettle, supplying hops for homebrewers and the craft beer industry. Omega Yeast Labs, fresh, healthy, unique, pitch-ready liquid yeast for pro brewers and homebrewers. Jaded Brewing, home of the fastest immersion wort chiller, the Hydra, and other brewing supplies. Brady Instruments, supplying the world with high-quality, hand-blown, handcrafted, scientific instruments like the Sjporr Challenge Hydrometer Trophy.
Hi everybody, it's MM, and I figured today would be a good day to start diving into the beers that I get to judge for round one of the SJPC Challenge this year. It's rainy, dreary Saturday, and I got these yesterday, so I'm excited to dive into them and see what we have. So the first one that I'm going to do is B68 RD1 49T. And the bottle says beer style IPA, adjuncts oats, and the hops are Bravo, Eldorado, and Citra, and it has an ABV of 7%. So that's going to be my first one. Let's see what we got here. Got a nice hiss off of it, that's a good thing. Yeah, can smell those hops. Give it a pour. Alright, so definitely hazy. Got that kind of milky orange look to it that you're seeing in a lot of the New England IPAs nowadays. Got a nice nose. It poured nice, not a real crazy head on it, but it's definitely got some thick foaminess to it. It's very citrusy. Very citrusy. Yeah. Let's give it a taste. That's nice. Got a real sweet up front, dries off. Interesting, it kind of dries off two different places. Sort of dries off about midway, then kind of comes back around a little bit, and then dries off again with a bitter. But then leaves you with that kind of mouth-watering pop that you get. The citrus kind of backfills. It's got a lot of flavor. There's a lot of flavor happening in this one. It's really good. So I am going to make some tasting notes, kind of go through this a little bit, and then I will be back and we'll do a wrap-up for entry number B68 RD1 49T. Okay, had a chance to make some notes and drink quite a bit more of this, and just gonna touch a couple high points here. This goes through, for anybody watching this that's not familiar with the challenge or how we do this, we have a standard SJPC score sheet that I go through, that all the contestants that are also judging the beers go through. It starts appearance, aroma, flavor, mouthfeel, overall impression, and then some comments. That's what we're looking at. So again, I'm looking at entry B68 RD1 49T, and this was the IPA, oats as the adjunct, and the hops were Bravo, Eldorado, and Citra with an ABV of 7%. Head appearance, I gave, you know, a one finger head that was foamy. Carbonation I thought was about medium. Clarity, it's definitely a hazy beer. Head retention was pretty moderate, but you can definitely work it back up. If you give it a little swirl, you get some nice fizz back to it, foam back to it. It's a very citrusy, fruity aroma to it. Not a lot of malt coming through in that nose. You get mostly those citrusy hops, which the 3 hops that are in this, the Bravo, the Citra, and the Eldorado, are all very Citra-based hops. The Bravo is an orange, almost, and kind of a, sometimes you get a touch of vanilla out of that, like a creamsicle type hop. Your Citra obviously is your citrus hop, and Eldorado is also considered a fruity or a tropical hop. And you definitely get that in the nose. As far as the malts, you're not really getting a whole lot of that in your aroma. The little bit that you do get, it's kind of a more grainy than a biscuit or a bready, not a toasty malt at all. It's true to the hops that are in it. It's a fruity or tropical flavor. It's a nice IPA without being a crazy juice bomb. So I don't know if you're just going for a hazy IPA on this, or kind of a you know, sort of that, the New England style IPAs are really, they're like juice, I don't know. Around here, commercially, the ones that we get tend to be like juice bombs, whether that's what they're supposed to be or not. I think this was just a citrusy, hazy IPA, and in that category, I think it's a good one. There's not a huge malt presence in this one. There's enough there to give it some balance. A couple of my notes were, you know, as I said, not a huge malt presence, but enough to deliver some balance to it. It's interesting, this beer is very, I call it flavor layered. And what I mean by that is you get, and I said it at the beginning, you get this nice citrus pop at the beginning, and then you get this sort of dry off kind of a bitter note, and then it's like the citrus comes back in, and then it dries off, but it leaves that kind of salivating feeling in your mouth where those citrus hops end up, like a big drink of, you know, when you take a big drink of citrus something. It's got a nice mouthfeel to it. It's not too thin. Sometimes those heavy hopped IPAs that don't have that big malt balance to them can be a little thin. This one I don't think is too thin. I think it's a nice mouthfeel to it. I think probably the best thing I can say about this one is that I would definitely order another one. If I were sitting somewhere having this out and I had ordered it as a beer, I would order another one. For me, that's a good thing. And this is kind of cool because I went through kind of a dry spell with IPAs for a while and sort of just got back into them again, probably within the last year or so. So I'm really digging what's happening out there. So I'm enjoying this one. I think it was well crafted. If I had to give any kind of constructive criticism, I think the only thing I would say would be to look at the grain, look at your grain bill a little bit. How could you maybe add just a touch more balance to it? As far as, I love IPAs that have a nice strong malty backbone to them. That would be my only thing that I would say at this. I think the hops are a nice balance. You did a good job there. And I think that, okay, the oats are the cloudy, hazy piece of it, and they also help balance out that mouthfeel. So, I've enjoyed it. I'm going to go finish it up, make some more notes, and get my scores in for this one. So, hopefully I didn't ramble on too long. I haven't done this in a while. Going to get back into it. Glad I got back into it this year. So, good luck and cheers, everyone.